cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
If you're looking to make extra income, if you're looking to pay off bills and plan for your retirement, then check out philsgang.com. Philsgang.com is an online educational service that informs you, coaches you, and guides you on how to invest in the stock market. Get daily advice to buy stocks, short stocks, and learn when to get out of your positions. Philsgang.com provides daily webinars, alerts, educational tutorials, and all material is archived. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
Consumer spending has continued to rise at a healthy pace, supported by steady income gains.
And where does she get that? I don't know. What is she, nuts? She must be on the moon or something. Wages have not increased in 30 years. All the jobs are part-time, most of the jobs anyways. Where's she coming up with this? Welcome to Phil's Gang, coast to coast around the country, off the Wall Street Radio Network. Look, we heard a terrible report on Friday. What she's saying is nuts. It's a total lie. Timing could have not been worse for Trump. After the defeat of his health care reform bill, his tax reform bill, the Atlanta Fed, they reported for the 2017 first quarter GDP. It was revised. Remember February, they said it would come in at GDP of 3.4%. That's how the first quarter of 2017 was going to grow. Well, guess what? It's just 0.5. That's the weakest quarter since the 1980s. What is she talking about? Was she nuts? The other disaster we had was the CPI. Inflation, what you and I are paying for goods. Crazy. The increases. So people aren't saving, they're not buying. Now, this is a real problem for Trump because the GDP coming in at 0.5, this is terrible. Now, he knows where this is coming from. He knows that it's because of the rate hikes that Yellen has put in place. That's why we have the 0.5. That's the effect. That's what happens when you're not growing your economy and you raise rates. It has a disastrous effect. When you aren't growing your economy, when you don't have capital investment and you don't have productivity increasing, you don't have wages increase. And if you don't have wages increase, you don't have consumption increasing, you don't have the economy growing, and that's why we're 0.5. So that is why Trump changed his mind and said, all right, I'm wrong. I'm not going to fire Yellen. I'm going to keep Yellen because I thought I should fire her because I thought she was keeping rates too low. But now I see why she's keeping them so low. They have to stay low. And today we had a rally. You were up over 100 points, 125 points, a little feel-good rally, because now they're talking, they're saying, well, because of the inflation, the CPI came in so badly, these reports are so terrible that they're not going to raise rates again, which is not true. She's going to keep raising rates, but we got a feel-good rally, took advantage of it today. But you remember when he was a candidate, he said he'd get rid of Yellen because she kept raising these rates artificially. She kept them low. artificially to help Hillary win. Remember she said that? He doesn't see that way anymore. He doesn't see it that way. Just a 0.75% rate is what brought us into an anemic 0.5, a 0.5% growth. That is crazy. Now he also says we need a weak dollar. Now here's the problem. When you have a weak dollar, our standard of living, remember, is associated with a high dollar. For us to live the lifestyle we come accustomed to while we're working, we need a high dollar. We need a strong dollar. A weak dollar, that'll take our cost, our standard of living down. So he's going to have to do something. See, he's learned that the economy has never recovered from 2008. That recovery has been a lie. It's been a fake narrative. We've never had a recovery. He's learning that the 2008 meltdown, we never had a recovery. The economy was propped up, and he's starting to understand why using artificial interest rates, low rates, zero rates. That's why we kept rates so low for so long, because he had to prop up the economy. Because we're not growing. Now he's figured it out. Now he said, God, I'm wrong. I'm not going to fire her. She's been right to keep these interest rates low. So he's realizing. See, he knows unless he wants both the economy and the stock market to collapse around him in his first year, he too will have to play the same game. QE. That's right. It may come to QE. He's also got a problem. Now that he's failed with the health care reform, the tax reform. The only tax reform you're going to get is from another QE. You get a tax cut for that. But he also knows his infrastructure program is so important to him now that he's had these two failures. He's got to get at least the infrastructure program going. We got 58,000 bridges that are structurally deficient. And the federal transportation program currently provides just a fraction of the $70 billion needed just for the maintenance and repair. He needs to get a victory here. So what he's going to do to pay for the $1 trillion infrastructure bill, he is looking to the corporations who are hoarding $3 trillion overseas, so not to pay taxes, and he's going to make a deal with them. He wants to bring the cash back in at a reduced rate so to pay for the infrastructure. That's not going to happen either. They're going to fight him on that too. So all of these programs, his health care reform, his giant tax cut reform, and his infrastructure, all going to be fought over. His enemies, the Republican establishment, want to see him as a one-year president, are fighting him. He's never going to get these done. He's going to get them done at some point, but not within the first year. He also realizes the 530 members of Congress, the 100 in the Senate and the 435 in the House, are not his employees. He just can't get up in the morning and bark orders and get it done or you're fired. These guys don't work for him. They won't even work with him. So he's got a problem. They're adversaries, especially the Republican establishment. They're adversaries. He's a fast learner. He's going to understand this. He realizes that he will not be able to repeal or replace Obamacare or get his massive tax cuts or his $1 trillion infrastructure or bring back the $3 trillion that they're hiding overseas in taxes, that money. He realizes he's got to become a politician. He realizes he can't. It's not like being a businessman. You can't run the government like a business. You have to be a politician. So he, too, will have to keep propping up the economy until he gets these things done. He's going to have to use artificial low rates, zero rates. He's going to have to introduce QE4. And not buy $85 billion worth of treasuries a month. He's going to have to buy $160 billion of treasuries a month, just to keep the economy where it is until he can accomplish his goals. That's why he changed his mind about Yellen and low rates. You watch. They're going to introduce a QE4, which is good for gold. He's no dope. Trump knows what's going on. He's getting his feet underneath him now. In the first 100 days, he didn't quite know what was going on. Now he's figured it out. So we can expect another QE4. And remember what the QE4 is. Remember, we were lied to. They told us the QE4 would create jobs. That we'd print this money, $85 billion a month. We'd take another $3 trillion and print it, and we'd stick it into the stock market. We'd front load the stock market with $3 trillion, buy all the bank stocks and other stocks to move the market up. And when all the wealthy, who 80% of their incomes come from the stock market, make money, that would trickle down and create all kinds of jobs. Well, it never happened, did it? We'll talk more about this in stocks when we get back. Welcome to Phil's Gang, 15 past the hour.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. I'm limited with time, real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
Hi, this is Ron from Washington State, and I subscribe to the Phil's Gang MV2, and I just wanted to let Phil know that right after the election, I made a $7,000 profit using the MV2 on Wells Fargo stock.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years, and very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I've been a long-time Phil's subscriber, and I just want to recommend it to anybody out there. I think it's a wonderful tool and works very, very well.
Don't wait. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
If you're looking to make extra income, if you're looking to pay off bills and plan for your retirement, then check out philsgang.com. Philsgang.com is an online educational service that informs you, coaches you, and guides you on how to invest in the stock market. Get daily advice to buy stocks, short stocks, and learn when to get out of your positions. Philsgang.com provides daily webinars, alerts, educational tutorials, and all material is archived. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Performing technical analysis is no easy task for any investor unless conducted with a professional stock charting service. At Phil's Gang, we offer a choice of high-power, color-coded stock charts, all seamlessly integrated, so you can tackle the market the way you want to. The Phil's Gang Max Best 1000 Stock Charts. From Phil's Gang are high-performance HTML5 web-based charts that work on any browser and device, so you can put live streaming data and fully interactive charts in the palm of your hand. Phil Grandy designed the MV software to have the best features, and so far the early reviews have been great. You can plot charts on an intraday basis as well as on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. There is also a built-in watch list that you can customize to your liking. For more information, go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. When St. Jude finds something that works well with a certain cancer, they share that with everybody. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge. We just have to worry about helping Chandler, and he's just my heart.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MD1, making lots of profit.
I love the chart. I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Retail consumer back in this market? Are they interested in this market now that the Dow is soaring again?
They seem to be, and consumer spending's been strong for a long time.
Consumer spending been strong for a long time. Really? Where's these guys been? Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Don't you just love that? These jibber-jabber, they just come out and just say anything. Boy, consumer spending has been terrific for a long time, really. Then why is retail falling off a cliff? They just come out and lie. That's why you need a chart. That's why if you buy stocks and you use these so-called experts, you're out of your mind. You're nuts. They just lie. Just like all these newsletters. Everybody, if you get a newsletter, just trash it. Because whatever it tells you to buy, that's old news. The pros already bought it. And they're getting out of it by the time you get in to buy it. Newsletters are old news. I never believed the amount of newsletters in this country. Financial newsletters, and people buy them left and right. Some people pay $1,200 a month or more for a newsletter. And what they're getting is old stuff. New stuff is when you put a stock on a chart and you see the money going in or the money going out. That's immediate. That's real time. Here, give me an example. Listen to these guys. This is nuts. Listen to Kramer.
Friday, during your game plan for next week, you mentioned Mosaic Company having a meeting on Wednesday and suggested buying shares prior to that meeting. You thought that it would be good.
I think it is good. I think that the market was bad today. I think Mosaic's a buy.
I think it's good. Yeah, buy it before the meeting. Get in there, buy it. Get it. Yeah, it's good. Hey, buy it. Are you out of your mind? Look at this thing. Look at it. The institutions, the big boys, the 9 largest banks, the hedge funds, the insurance companies, pulling their money out. They've been pulling their money out of the stock. Here, look, it's red. They've been pulling their money out of Mosaic since February 24th. It's dropped from $31.50 down to $27. And he's saying to buy this thing. And institutions are pulling the money out. That's about maybe a 14%. It's still dropping. It's down 14%. And he's telling these people to buy it. And listen to what he says. Listen to the reasons why.
Friday, during your game plan for next week, you mentioned Mosaic Company having a meeting on Wednesday and suggested buying shares prior to that meeting. You thought that it would be good.
I think it is good. I think that the market was bad today. I think Mosaic's a buy.
I think it's good. I think it's good they're having a meeting. Maybe they're having a meeting to fire the CEO. Maybe. Isn't that stupid? This is what you get when you get these newsletters and you get these people like Kramer and the rest of these so-called geniuses. Here's another one.
With all hullabaloo, you think that Tesla actually made money. They don't. GM does. Stock up 50% in the next 5 years.
You're going to buy a stock because he says it's going to be up 50% in the next 5 years. And you really think he knows that a stock's going to be up 50% in the next 5 years? This letter writer? 50%. So some dope is going to buy the stock, listening to him, thinking it's going to be up 50% in 5 years. In 5 years, Korea could have bombed us to death. Who knows? 5 years. I don't know what I'm going to have for supper tonight. These guys are just so phony. They're just phony. These are losers. These are the same guys every time telling you, I don't know. Now they're moving their 20% to their up to 50%, I guess.
I think infrastructure has Home Depot up 20% in a year. Spring break is upon us. It means fast food restaurants are going to surge. McDonald's up 20%.
Vodafone is a way to play with. I think it's up 20% in a year.
Gilead Science had a bad earnings report, but they got a great pipeline. I own it. I think it's up 20%.
So wait a minute. So the producer must switch to 50% now. Maybe it's 50% now. This is ridiculous. You buy a stock. You don't know how much it's going to... When you buy a stock, you invest in a stock. You don't have any idea how much it's going up. What you're doing is managing your money. You're trying to get a return on your money, and the first thing you're trying to do is to save that money, is to, first of all, expenses. You want to make sure your expenses are as low as you possibly can get them. And your job is to manage the money that you're investing, not the stock. When you listen to these guys, they think they know everything about the stock. Nobody knows anything about the stock. Nobody knows. But what we do know with today's technology is the institutions that make stocks go up because they buy them, or make stocks go down because they pull the money out. That's what you follow. Are you kidding me? Take Facebook. Take Facebook. Everybody owns Facebook. Facebook. So Facebook, if you bring back Facebook, my gang members own a lot of Facebook. And a lot of my gang members bought Facebook around $120. $120. And here's the beautiful thing. $120, and they got out of the stock around $142. That's an 18% gain. Now, I'm not saying every gang member made 18%, but every gang member had the opportunity to make 18%, but depends on where they got in. As long as they got in, maybe somebody made 5%, maybe somebody made 10% when it was green. That's all. Buy it when it's green. It's not that hard. But here's the beautiful thing. Nobody can sit there and say Facebook is going to go up 20% or Facebook's going to go up 50%. Nobody knows that. But here's what we do know. We know when the 9 largest banks, the insurance companies, and the hedge funds, they started to put money in on January 5th. We could see the money going in. Anybody can buy a stock. Stocks go up 72% of the time. The key is getting out. And at least the stock started to turn red on March 23rd. And it's been red ever since. It's telling you the institutions have pulled their money out. That's what you want to manage your money so you don't lose money. You can't manage a stock. You manage your money, and you do it by watching the money in and the money out. Listen to these guys, you're out of your mind.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. I got a great opportunity for those people who are disgusted with the market, who don't have time to learn. What you do is follow me in the exchange-traded fund that I'm invested in. Every day you go to my site and you can see exactly what I am doing with my investment, and you can mimic me. Nobody else dares do that. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of Phil's Gang. I got a great opportunity for those people who are disgusted with the market, who don't have time to learn. What you do is follow me in the exchange-traded fund that I'm invested in. Every day you go to my site and you can see exactly what I am doing with my investment, and you can mimic me. Nobody else dares do that. Join the gang, philsgang.com.
For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Phil Grandy is a career businessman who has also been an entrepreneur all his life. He has used his business skills to take companies on the abyss of bankruptcy and bringing them back to profitability. Phil has been honored by Inc. magazine for the 500 fastest growing privately held companies and has been recognized with the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award. From the real estate to gas and oil industries to the stock market, Phil Grandy has mastered his line of business from start to finish. And with a passion and desire to make you a profitable investor, only Phil teaches you and guides you to make informed, unemotional investment decisions. And you'll gain the knowledge of what Wall Street doesn't want you to know. If you want to learn from the best and strengthen your ability to invest, then turn to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com. Simply call Phil's Gang at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Or go to philsgang.com. Phil's Gang offers one of the best collections of charts available on the internet. We built the Max Best software to have the best features, and so far, the early reviews have been great. So don't just be an investor, be a Max Investor with Phil's Gang Max Investor 1000 stock charts. For more information, simply go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Hey gang, be sure to join Phil Grandy at Michael's on East in Sarasota on Wednesday, May 10th for an open discussion presented by Tampa's AM 860, The Answer, called Taking an Honest Look at the First 100 Days of the Trump Presidency. Phil will be joined by Mike Gallagher, Larry Elder, Captain Matt Bruce, and Bill Bunkley. The VIP reception starts at 5:30 and the main event is at 7 p.m. Again, that's Wednesday, May 10th at Michael's on East in Sarasota. For all ticket information, simply go to philsgang.com and click on the banner on the homepage.
Let me ask you, could you use a little extra money? Well, of course you could. Everybody could use that extra revenue to pay the bills, pay down debt, or save for retirement. With philsgang.com, we help you make that extra income in the stock market. For over 15 years, Phil Grandy and the philsgang.com team have helped folks who are interested in learning short-term and long-term investing by providing professional-level charting skills and strategies. philsgang.com is your #1 source to learn, invest, and profit in the stock market. And you can do this for only $39.95 a month. With philsgang.com, you learn how to invest in the market, you get daily investment coaching guidance, and you will learn to invest and trade with the skills and confidence of the pros. Just log on and get daily investment instructions and make profits. Plus, all philsgang.com material is archived for your convenience. Go to philsgang.com to join or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Call today.
Welcome back. Listen to Phil Grandy and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. Remember, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Call, it's only $39.95. And why don't you follow me? If you want to do individual stocks, that's fine. We have a complete program, teaching program, do individual stocks. There's no program, I believe, in the country that matches it. But if you don't have time, and you don't have time to learn, then just follow me in the exchange-traded funds that I purchased myself. And it's totally transparent, so you can see, okay, here's how many shares I'm buying, here's when I bought it, okay, here's what I'm getting out. And that's such an easy way for you to buy stock because you're doing what I'm doing. You're just imitating me. This is not a fund. You're not putting money with me. Just like with our UNG. We have 3 of them. UNG is one. UNG, if you got in at UNG at about $6 and $6 and when it turned green, 6.62, and you got out when it was at around 7.90, that was nearly a 67 to 767. Use that. That's a 14% return. 14.7 return. And I said, you can follow me on this. Now, I didn't get in that early. I got in a little bit later, and I got out a little bit earlier, and I got a 6% return. And if you followed me and did exactly what I did, you would have had a nice 6% return in a very short period of time, within a couple of weeks. When's the last time in 10 days, okay, you would have a return of 6% on your money? And you're watching somebody who's been doing this for years, and you just imitate what I do. Has anybody else done that for you? No. And then we got 2 others I'm working on right now. That's the way, if you don't have time to learn, about individual stocks. Look, if your income while working, let's say a combined income of you and your wife, $55,000, which is about 72% of the people in the United States in our workforce. We have about 147 million people in our workforce. About 72% combined income is $55,000. You need $700,000 to retire and live the same lifestyle you've been accustomed to while working. That's right. Where are you going to get that? In a 401k? Of course not, because the fees, the impact is fees. The impact on fees cannot be understated. It's the fees that kill you. Let's say you put in $25,000 in your 401k, you get started. Let's say you got lucky with an average return of 7% over 35 years. You never took a penny out. You left it in. Your account balance should be $227,000. You're ready to retire. Now you deduct fees. For each 1% of your 401k, you lose 30%. But it's not 1%. It's 2%, but they don't tell you. Do you know that 72% of the people with 401ks don't even, they think, I'm sorry, 68% think they pay no fees at all? They don't think there's a fee. Can you imagine? When they go to retire, they're sitting there thinking, oh, boy, I got all this, I got $227,000. No, you don't. Because just 1%, you lose 30% of the 227. Everybody pays at least 2%. That means more than half of the 227. You're lucky if you end up with $100,000. How are you going to live on $100,000? Take the returns. An average return on a 401k mutual funds really sucks. From a negative 2.5% to 5%. Once in a while, if you're lucky, 7%. That's such an exception. But what is it? Take spiders just since 2008, 13.7%. But it's the fees. It's the fees. 1/1800th of 1% is what the spider cost you. Can you imagine? Compared to the fees, 1% you lose 30%. And the disadvantages, I'm not going to waste your time, are tremendous disadvantages in your 401k. Tremendous. You can't get out. When the market starts crashing, you got to wait till the end of the day. How stupid is that? When the market's going down and you want to short, make money on the way down, you can with me, but you can't in a 401k. You got to sit there and lose money. How stupid is a 401k? And at the end of the year, it wasn't your decision you wanted to take money out, that they're going to take money and spread, and you got a tax bill. You had no say. That doesn't happen with the spiders. Just take a spiders, it works. And then here's what I did. I designed a chart that you can stay with me, and I'm in the spiders, do what I do in the spiders. The expenses are almost nothing, and you can get a nice return, and you can follow me every day, whether I short them, meaning as the market goes down, or I go long buying it. Just follow me in the spiders. That's all you do, just like you do with UNG. Industrials. We're short XLI. I'm showing you how to make money when the industrials are going down. So we're in one now, XLI. Those are the industrials on a short, teaching them how to short. So you just follow me. There's 3 of them. Follow me. Then I'll add another one. Then I'll add another one. That's the way to do it. Okay. So here's the number, 877-600-GANG. That's how you're going to make money. You're not going to do it listening to these people here. I mean, just out of your... This is crazy.
Forget the United fiasco. I think Delta stock is up 20% in a year. I do own it.
20% in a year. He has no clue it's going to be up 20% in a year. He has no clue. I have no clue. If we dug J.P. Morgan up, he'd second the motion. He's got no clue. But he tells us he does? That's just a lie. That's a total lie.
Lie, lie, lie. Lie, 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 lie.
Unbelievable. The lying in this industry is just terrible. Let's go back to Trump. Now, the Trump rally, the Trump bump is over. It ran into trouble because of the repeal and replace of Obamacare fell apart. The tax cut has fallen apart. This 14% rally is over. The infrastructure spending is not going to happen. They're not going to okay it unless they can pay for it. He's going to try to get the $1 trillion from the $3 trillion, or the trillion of the $3 trillion that they can claw back from Europe. All the corporations together have an aggregate of $3 trillion set aside in Europe, so they don't have to pay tax on it. So he's going to say to them, "I'll give you a special tax rate. Why don't you bring $1 trillion of that in so I can fix the roads?" Yeah, that's going to go over well, because the elitists and the Republican Party don't want him around. They don't want him. He's not one of the boys. They want to make sure he's a one-term president. They're not going to cooperate with him, and that market is going to collapse. The guy says, here's what I love about what these guys say about the stocks. Listen.
I think market timing's a fool's game, and I don't think there are reasons to believe the stock market's expensive today.
Market's not expensive today? Is he out of his mind? A P/E ratio of 17? When we have go look at a 10-year history, it's like 14. This market is so overpriced, you got nosebleeds up here. Are you kidding? Stocks have rallied since 2008 like 72 times faster than a company's profits. Stocks kept going up and profits didn't follow because of all the juice, the front loading of the market. The printing of $85 billion a month to buy treasuries, so to force the Saudis and Chinese out of the bond market into stocks. They put another $3.3 trillion they printed and gave it to the banks, said go buy all the bank stocks to push the market up. Then they printed another $6 trillion, gave it to all the CEOs, said go buy your own stock. Boom, the market's up 220%, but there's no profits. Are you out of your mind? That's called a bubble. And what you want to do is enjoy the bubble on the way up, but the key is you want to enjoy it on the way down, and you'll do that with me. And the safest place and the best place to do that is in the Spiders, where you own 500 of the best stocks, a basket of 500 stocks where you follow me every day, where you have Amazon and Facebook and Apple and Berkshire and Cat and FedEx in one basket, and then you follow me because I'm invested. We'll be right back after this break. Call right now, 877-600-GANG. Sign up.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. philsgang.com. What are people saying?
Hi, this is Ron from Washington State, and I subscribe to the Phil's Gang MV2, and I just wanted to let Phil know that right after the election, I made a $7,000 profit using the MV2 on Wells Fargo stock.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years, and very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I've been a long-time Phil's subscriber, and I just want to recommend it to anybody out there. I think it's a wonderful tool and works very, very well.
Don't wait. For more information, go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.
If you're looking to make extra income, if you're looking to pay off bills and plan for your retirement, then check out philsgang.com. Philsgang.com is an online educational service that informs you, coaches you, and guides you on how to invest in the stock market. Get daily advice to buy stocks, short stocks, and learn when to get out of your positions. Philsgang.com provides daily webinars, alerts, educational tutorials, and all material is archived. For more information, go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
Performing technical analysis is no easy task for any investor unless conducted with a professional stock charting service. At Phil's Gang, we offer a choice of high-power, color-coded stock charts, all seamlessly integrated, so you could tackle the market the way you want to. The Phil's Gang Max Best 1000 Stock Charts. From Phil's Gang are high-performance HTML5 web-based charts that work on any browser and device, so you could put live streaming data and fully interactive charts in the palm of your hand. Phil Grandy designed the MV software to have the best features, and so far the early reviews have been great. You can plot charts on an intraday basis as well as on a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annual basis. There is also a built-in watch list that you can customize to your liking. For more information, go to philsgang.com, philsgang.com, or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264, 877-600-4264.
To be able to just get my son to St. Jude and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
philsgang.com. What are people saying?
I've been in the financial business myself about 24 years. Very much enjoy the software program for the charts.
I love the new MV charts on Phil's software, and I'm making profits using them.
Complete guidance and professional education for investors who want to succeed in the stock market.
I love your new MV1, making lots of profits.
I love the chart. You know, I'm limited with time. Real good as far as just looking at whatever ticker tells me right away.
I've always enjoyed Phil's straightforwardness and talk about what's really going on.
The new MV1 and MV2 charting software. I particularly like the pre- and post-market candlesticks.
You guys have always been great on the service side. I can't say enough about the service side.
Don't wait. Sign up for Phil's Gang today. Give us a call at 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Welcome back. You're not a regular listener to Phil's Gang? What, are you nuts? Listen to Phil Grandy and check out philsgang.com. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. You know, the stock market is the best place to be. Now, the stock market has nothing to do with the economy. Your stock, I don't care if it's Ford, GM, if your stock, let's say it's Johnson & Johnson, and it's $125. It's not worth $125. It's probably worth about $10, $15. What made it go from $10 to $125? A bunch of scoundrels. A bunch of scoundrels on Wall Street. A bunch of parasites. They're either going to print the money and give it to the Johnson & Johnson to buy their own stock up, or they're going to print money, go in and buy the treasuries to scare the Chinese out of the treasuries, so to force them to go to the stock market, push it up. Or they're going to print $3 trillion, give it to the 5 largest banks and tell them to go buy bank stocks to push it, or Johnson & Johnson push it up. What do you care? You don't care how it gets up there. And you don't care how it gets down. And as long as you understand how it works, it's the money that goes in, it's the money that goes out. It has nothing to do with market cap, trailing PE, or price of sales, or price of money. Listen to this dope here. He says, you can't time the market. He said, you can't time the market.
I think market timing's a fool's game.
Oh, really? A fool's game? Life, all of life is timing. All of life is timing. Everything we do in life is timing. How about that act, that part? Timing. The other guy got sick. He couldn't come in for the part. Everything's timing. You get on the baseball team. The other guy, he had a bad day. You had a good day. Timing. Everything in life is timing. Stocks is timing. And what do we time? We got a bunch of gangsters, a bunch of parasites who take and control the stock market. You got Vanguard and BlackRock and T. Rowe Price and J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs, a bunch of pathetic gangsters who get together, who decide what stock they're going to push and win. This game that they sit there and they got this great information on bulls and bears, or on CNBC, they know where stock's going to go, 20%, 50% in a year. What a bunch of nonsense. Pure crap. Just nonsense. And that's why you never made money in the stock market. And you never will if you're going to listen to these snake oil salesmen. That's all they are. Pathetic. Pathetic. They're dealing with people's hard-earned money. No wonder most retail customers got out of the stock market and say, I'll never go back to the stock market. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Now, Glass-Steagall. We got to hope that Trump brings Glass-Steagall back in. What was Glass-Steagall? If you remember, in 1929, the reason why the stock market crashed, because all the banks, whether you were commercial, if you were loaned money to somebody for a business, or you loaned money for a car, or you paid, or you sold insurance, or you sold stock, it was all under one roof. It was one-stop shop. So all this deposit money came into the bank, and these bankers took your money, your deposit money, and they went out and they speculated with your stock money, with your money. They speculated the stock market, and the stock market crashed, and we had the biggest crash ever in 1929. They finally got smart and said, let's put the Glass-Steagall in. Senator Steagall said, no more of that. This is crazy. Here's what we're going to do. You got to make a decision. You want to be a commercial bank and lend commercial loans? That's all you do. You want to be a savings bank and lend money on a house mortgage? That's all you do. You want to sell stock? You open up a stock company. You want to sell insurance? You open up an insurance company. No more are we going to let you put all those together and get all the deposits in one pile, and you go out and take those deposits, not your money, their money, and you go speculate in the stock market. Never again will we have a crash. And for 80 years after they put that in 1933, passed it, we, for 80 years, never had a hiccup in the stock market. Never. Until when? Until the 1990s, we had Bill Clinton in office. And when Bill Clinton came in office and he signed a bill to take Glass-Steagall and get rid of it. Why? Because you had a bunch of greedy bankers. You had the CEO, who just became the CEO of Goldman Sachs, Hank Paulson, just became the CEO of of Goldman Sachs. And he was crying like a baby. I got to grow. I can't grow with this Glass-Steagall. I got to steal customers' money. I got to be able to use customers' money like they did in 1929. And then they had Sandy Weil. He owned one of the largest insurance companies, and he wanted to combine his insurance company with Citibank and use all the depositors' money to screw him. And he couldn't do it because of the Glass-Steagall Act. And then you had Jamie Dimon. All of them, they felt their hands were locked because they couldn't get their hands on the money. They couldn't get their hands on our money. They wanted to get rid of Glass-Steagall. So what did they do? They go to this crook. He's one of the worst senators ever. Phil, what the hell's his last name? Phil Gramm. And they said to Phil Gramm, the Senate Banking Committee, he's one of the biggest crooks. He took more he took more bribes than anybody except for Frank Dodd. For Senator Dodd. And they said to him, look, if you can go back and let's take and repeal the Glass-Steagall Act, and we will promise you, we'll give you a position. The giant Swiss bank, UBS here in the United States, you can run their operations. We'll give you $20 million of your salary, and you'll retire at $20 million a year. All you got to do is, right before Christmas, when nobody's around, get rid of that Glass-Steagall Act. Get rid of it. And Bill Clinton will sign it off. And what they do, they hired the guy from Harvard. I can't think of his name. The guy from Harvard, Larry Summers. And they said, we'll pay you to go in and lobby President Clinton because you're his Treasury Secretary. Go in and lobby him. Know who Larry Summers is. He's the one that had those terrible derivatives that you lost your home. You lost $42 trillion. They wiped out $42 trillion of your net worth. 8 million people lost their jobs. 12 million people lost their home because of this guy, Larry Summers. So they got this thing passed. They got it past Christmas or over New Year's when nobody was around. And it got passed in 1990. And Bill Clinton knew that this was now going to bring everything back under one roof again, that caused the crash of 1929. And Bill Clinton didn't care because he was getting paid. They're all getting paid. 80 years, nope, not a problem. Phil Gramm goes to he gets it passed. A week later, he's out of the Senate. He goes to UBS. He's the U.S. operations guy. Everybody's getting rich. They got this thing passed. Sandy Weill could put together City and Travelers, and then everybody did the same thing. Everything was under one roof again. And then in 2008, 8 years later, or about 12 years later, the stock market crashed because Glass-Steagall wasn't there. Trump needs to bring in Glass-Steagall right now. That's the best thing he could do. Bring in Glass-Steagall. But they won't let him. They won't let him do that either. They'll never pass Glass-Steagall. That's what we need, not the Dodd-Frank bill. Dodd-Frank bill, what a stupid thing. I heard over the weekend they said, well, we don't need Glass-Steagall. Dodd-Frank took the place of Glass-Steagall. Took the place? Are you kidding? Glass-Steagall didn't cost $72 million every year to do the friggin' paperwork. $72 million it cost you and me for all the paperwork they have to do to Dodd-Frank. Can you believe that? $72 million. This is nuts. That didn't happen with Glass-Steagall. Glass-Steagall is a wonderful thing, but it'll never go through. That's crazy. That's crazy. So, guess what's going to happen? This market's going to stay the same. And the only way, and think about it, the only way that you're going to make money. Oh, and by the way, whatever happened to Phil Gramm, he ended up at UBS, as I told you, and the stock took a 70% loss. Because of how he operated the bank, the stock took a loss of 70%. He got a golden parachute of $125 million. Bill Clinton, of course, since then has become a multimillionaire, $250 million. Larry Summers is now worth $85 million. And who's the other guy? Paulson's worth $700 million. Nothing happened to any of them. They all became very rich, screwing everybody. So if you want to make money, there's one place to make money. You're not going to make money anywhere else except the stock market. Glass-Steagall's not going to protect you. They won't let it protect you. Nobody's going to protect you because they can't make money if they're going to protect you. How can they make money protecting you? It doesn't work that way. So what do? You got to retire. You're going to live on Social Security check? What are you, out of your mind? You're going to live on Social Security check? That's not going to work. 401k doesn't work. They screw you with your fees. $250 million a day they steal from 401k fees. You know that? $250 million. They scoff off the top and you don't know it because they hide it in asset value of the 401k. Look, join my gang. Follow me. If you don't have time for individual stocks, follow me in the same exchange-traded funds I'm in and just mimic me. That's all you have to do. Call now, 877-600-GANG. See you on the chart.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. To many, the stock market is shrouded in mystery. When do I buy? What is the stop